Welcome. I'm Meredith, and this is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot, and this is part 9 of my Oracle deck collection series. If you've somehow missed the other episodes, I will link them in the description. And like, share, and subscribe. So hit that bell, and you can be alerted when I post the next video. So let's get right in. This really should have been included in an earlier video because it's not exactly an oracle deck. So this is Geomantic Visions by James R. Eads, and I got this as part of his Kickstarter. It was an add-on, and like everything else he does, it's just exquisite. First of all, the book is, well, now you can see the coins. If you don't know anything about geomancy, this is a great book. It gives you a lot of information, and it's, even the paper feels nice. I mean, he just does such a fabulous job with everything he does. And you get these huge, beautiful images of the coins, and he gives you the planets, the signs, like a keyword, part of the body. There's a ton of information. Now I'm going to tell you, I am by no means an expert in geomancy, not even close. But this is a great starting point, I think. And I don't remember the price of this, and I think it's a little more now that it's not in Kickstarter, but I mean, the quality is so incredible, and I still think it's a steal. I really do. And this is something that when I when I added it, I thought, well, I'll get into this in the next little while. And sometimes life gets in the way, and I had some health things come up that just really prevented the kind of focus that I needed for this. So this is something that I will be working with in the coming months. I played with it a little bit, but nothing, I didn't give it any kind of serious study, but I look forward to doing that. It's just beautiful, and they just feel so nice. And we have the elements, and they're just really lovely coins, and just fabulous quality, and I really like them. But again, my use has been extremely limited, and I've only kind of skimmed the book, so I haven't devoted any real time or effort yet, but that's gonna change. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring it in. But again, if you do have any interest, I think this is a great place to start, personally. And it's just, I mean, the box is wonderful. It's all, I'm a huge fan. So, and this is still available on his site if you're interested. And I swear I'm not trying to sell anything. All right, next, this is the Woven Wisdom Oracle. I love this deck. So, I did trim it, so I'm pretty positive it was originally, like the size of the box. These are the backs, and it does have the name, but it's pretty, it's not super obvious. So I I think the borders went all the way around, so I just trimmed the edges. And I did edge them. And there are a couple of extra cards in this deck that I ordered later on. They came out. And it gives you a keyword, and then it gives you, well, keyword or a name, and then it gives you more keywords. This is a lovely, and I love this size. I like decks that are different shapes and sizes. Now, when I first ordered this, it had, I forget how many extra cards I got. I want to say there were only like 4 or 6. I don't think there were a ton. Maybe it was a few more. I don't remember. But it wasn't a ton. What does this say? Doesn't say how many came with it. So I don't know if you went to buy this deck, and you can see, so some of the words did get a little snipped. I don't care about that personally. I really just like that art to come out, so it didn't bother me, and you can still read them. But it could be that if you buy the deck now, it'll include those extra cards. I'm not sure. But one of the other things that came out after I originally bought this was the guidebook. I know, I don't usually like guidebooks, but this book is, first of all, it's so beautiful. It's nice and chunky. There is a ton of fabulous information in here. I mean, really, so it talks about the origins of bibliomancy, engaging in it, numerology and symbols, developing a personal ritual, verifying answers, pendulum chart, attuning your tools, and then it goes into the guide and spreads. So, I mean, there is just a wealth of information in here. And we have the numerology, we have animals, body symbols, colors, zodiacs, time frames, days of the week. There's just a lot of great information. And then when we get into the cards, you have this big full page colored image of the art, and then it gives you information, and the nice thing, he gives you these key questions. And I say he, and I honestly don't know. So it's illustrated by Steve Samsara, Spiritual Interpretation by Siren. Talks about what it could relate to. It gives you like a background in what's portrayed in the card, and kind of why it's there, what that connection is. And then there are different suits. So we have the Pantheon suit, which is, deities. And we have the Forest suit. Fable, the Fable suit. Autumn. And Shadow. Is that it? Yeah. It's a really great book. Coming from someone who doesn't normally like guidebooks, I do really like that one. And again, it was like a separate purchase, but I'm glad I made it. And I don't use it all the time. And originally when I got it, there was no book, at least not that I was aware of. So, originally I just stuck with what was on the card or what I felt in the card. But I like, the guidebook just kind of expands. So, Ganesh is one of the new cards. It's one of the reasons I got them. But it's just a really really nice deck. I feel like there are a lot of great keywords, and the artwork is just beautiful, and I really enjoy it. And again, this is, I can't emphasize the quality of this book. You know, and just to give you a snippet, if we look at the Medusa card, I'm not going to try to find it, but so Medusa, and again, it talks about, you know, the history, could relate to slander or libel, decisions made based off of inaccurate information, failing a popularity contest, interpersonal tensions relating to biased information. You know, think about her roots, right, as she became Medusa. And then key questions: how can I be a stronger advocate for myself? What are different ways to check if I'm being understood correctly? Is my closeness to another party making this matter more complicated? How do I react and interact with unfair narratives about me? And then the other neat thing, for each card, he gives you like a yes or no. So basically, if you just wanted a yes or no answer, and you pulled Medusa, the answer would be no. There are still issues that need clarifying. Right, so some of them, yes, but make sure you have a backup plan. You know, there are some that are flat out yes or no, I think. Yeah, so like this one's just yes. So it's just a nice added dimension, right? And it comes with just a simple talks about how to get started with it. So we have the title, the image, the number, themes, and meditational phrases. And then it does give you some spreads and about the creators. I think this is a great deck, and I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy that I trimmed it. You know, that's just a personal preference. Alright, next, so I did show this in Irreplaceable Decks, but this is Purgatorium by Mr. Freiburg. This is a deck, now it does have some kind of sort of graphic images, just in case you're super sensitive. This deck is so wonderful. So this isn't a standard oracle. I mean, you could read it like that if you wanted to, but there's more to it than that. You know, there's a whole system. I won't get super into it. I talked about it, I think, in the Irreplaceable Decks, and I'll link that below. But basically, he gives you different ways to work with the cards, and for the meanings, it gives you a quote, a description, a high polarity meaning, and a low polarity meaning. So this could be a great deck to do, you know, a shadow work with. It's a great deck to just to explore motives, to really kind of get to the energy that's going on. It can really take you deeply if you choose to go there, right? You don't have to. But it's a really interesting, and again, there's this whole system, and it's based partly on the stages of grief, partly on an old tarot deck. So there's a lot to this deck, and it just feels very, very powerful. It's very easy to read, though. Even without the book, I just feel like it can be a very easy reader. But it can go pretty deep. So if that's what you like, and I do, this could be a fabulous deck. I mean, look at that. It's a great deck. I'm so happy I have it, and I really enjoy it. So next, this deck was hiding from me for so long. I only just finally found it. You know, I took it somewhere to do a reading, and I put it in a weird place, which I'm sure at the time made sense. Didn't make sense to me today, but I found it. So this is Inspirationus Spiritus deck. So, and this is by I put the books away, but it's Reverend Pamela, 3 names. These are the backs, and they're beautiful, and I did edge them. So now when I first got these cards, I noticed that oftentimes the words are kind of hard to see, right? Especially, you know. And at first I was like, oh, that's irritating. But I don't know if it was purposeful, but I feel like it was, because what that does is it forces me, anyway, to look deeper into the card. And I feel like if they were a little more blatant, if they stood out more, you might overlook some of the aspects of the card. So I actually think they're perfect the way they are. I love this deck. I love this deck. It's very evocative, and it just pulls me in, and I really enjoy using it. And I use this deck with a lot of things. I use this a lot for readings for other people. Usually I'll just pull 1, maybe 2 cards for them. Sometimes like the cherry on the top of a spread, sometimes to begin with. Sometimes I like to pull a card at the beginning to kind of set the tone, and then do a wrap up with these. So it totally depends, but I think it's a great deck. You can riffle shuffle it. It's a little tough, but I mean, overhand, well, there we go. Overhand is easy. And I think it came with this. I'm pretty sure. But it's just a really nice deck. It's got fabulous keywords and beautiful imagery. So what more could you want? Now, I just did an unboxing of this, which I will probably remember to link down below, but this is the Ardrey Oracle. So I just got this today. And this was a Kickstarter. These are the backs. So I'm not going to spend too much time, because like I said, I do have an unboxing. But this is such a beautiful deck, and it feels so very different from, you know, every other deck, which, you know, that's what I want anyway. It's just very special. It's got a fabulous soft buttery cardstock, and it's nice. It's got good keywords. So the guidebook is fairly slim, you know, so they didn't waste a lot of space. Oh, and this is by Olivia Rose. So we just have a page introduction about the artist, and then it's just the cards, and it gives you the keyword on the deck. And I don't know if this shows up really well, but these are like a beautiful pale pink. I think they show up more beige, but it's pink. It's really pretty. It's just soft, very soft. Gives you other keywords, and then divinatory meaning, And again, it asks some great questions. I don't think they all do, but some of them do at least. So, and then it talks about, it describes what's in the card. But yeah, I really like this deck. And even though it's got like that kind of rose petal finish, they do really shuffle nicely. So, they don't, I mean, that was a bad shuffle. That was completely me, not the deck. But they don't clump, which is so nice. So this is how you do that kind of finish, right? But yeah, it's a really lovely deck, and I'm looking forward to working with it. All right, next, this is one of my favorite oracles. This is the Morning Calm Oracle, and this was a Kickstarter. And it comes with a really nice guidebook. And the only thing I'll say, I hate that gray font. It makes it really hard for me to read it. I have to have really good light. Talks about how to use the cards, the sigil cards, and gives you the oracle. Well, let me show you the cards. So we have 2 different colors for the backs. So these are the sigil cards. So sometimes, as you might guess, I mix them all in together. Sometimes I keep them separate. So the red are the sigils. Right, so we have the Divine Masculine, Psychic Power, Creativity, Cleansing, Divine Feminine, Manifestation, and Healing. So then we have the your standard oracle, and they do have that beautiful, or did I edge them? No, this is too nice. I didn't do that. So they did have that beautiful gilding. These cards are just exquisite. There's such a wonderful feeling that these cards bring up in me. It's a peaceful feeling about them, a very, calming, right? Morning calm. And I think they live up to that name. And they're just wonderful. They're really, really wonderful. So you have the image, and then what it is, it can be a keyword, other times maybe not so much. Show you. Oh, so there are 45 regular cards, and then we have the sigils as well. But so for the crane spirit, success, great outcome or result, fame, big win, luck, great health. So it talks about, sighting or dreaming of cranes is believed to be an excellent omen and good luck. Generations past in Korea often bought lottery tickets after dreaming of cranes. This card speaks of successful outcomes and progress. Your hard work will be rewarded. There are great things on the horizon for you. If you're currently going through suffering, trust that it will pass and the light at the end of the tunnel is near. So then, at the bottom for each card, it gives you like an affirmation. I deserve and welcome more success and fortune into my world. I have no limitations. So yeah. It's just such a fabulous deck. And the card stock is just everything. It's really soft. It's not sticky at all, but it's really soft and smooth. So it's not like a rose powder, I don't know what it is, but it's smooth and the cards move nicely and easily. I love this. Love this too. It's just a fabulous, fabulous deck. And this is a deck that I keep just for me. I probably shouldn't because it's so great. I really should share it. But this is a deck when I feel like I need tenderness or calmness. This is a deck that I reach for. It's just wonderful. And it's just a fabulous deck. So next, and we only have a few more, and then we're really done with this series, at least for this year. So this deck, all right, so this is a French deck. I will try to say the name. I'm sorry. So it's Outrechimere Oracle, and I know that's not how to say it. I'm sorry, I try. Let me see if there's a... Oh, here. Now, it comes with this really great guidebook that is in French. Now, when I put in the order to purchase this, I was actually contacted by the creator who said, hey, you realize this is in French? I have other decks that are in English. And I said, yes, I realize, but I want it anyway. But I appreciate that he, you know, that he did that. So, let me take these up for a second. So, look at these backs. Gorgeous. Beautiful gilding. I mean, they've, you know, I did ruffle shuffle them. So, this is another deck that actually has its own system. Now, remember the guidebook's in French, and I am not fluent, not even close. So, by and large, I've been using this deck intuitively, based on the images, sometimes with these words. So, I'm going to try to give you like a brief explanation of how this works, because I think it's a really cool system from what I understand. I could be misunderstanding, but I think I kind of got it. So, just to show you, say you pick two cards. Well, those probably aren't the best cards to pick. Let's pick, because I want to show you how it kind of comes together. Why is that? Wait a minute. Alright. Here. So say you pick these two. So you can see the image at the bottom, right? So we have half shark, half horse. So, in addition to these cards, we have these. So, this talks about the different animals, right, as wholes. So we have like lion, horse, wolf, you know, whether they're positive, neutral, negative, and then what's their like how they kind of fit in, I guess. So when you create this creature, you would look. So here we have the shark back and the horse front. So here we have ambiguity. So, which I'm pretty sure is like, it's ambiguous, right? I think. So when I use these if I focus on this, because sometimes I do. Often I look up words. A lot of them, though, are really, close to English, right? Like flattery, regret, preference, indulgence, inquietude. But there are all these different aspects that get created based on the cards, and you can continue building, right? So it's a really neat concept. I am very slowly translating. So I actually have a notebook just for this deck. So eventually, one day, I will probably be able to use it the way it was intended. But I mean, I love using it just with the imagery, because it's so beautiful, it's so evocative, and it's so beautiful. And I really love this deck. Now, again, he does have some decks that are in English. So if you like the artwork, but you don't want to, struggle with the French, I mean, that's a possibility, but there's a lot of information here, right? There's a lot to translate. So yeah, I'm getting there. I am working on it. But yeah, and so he gives you emotions, actions, like a default state, I guess, the quality. So it's really, and then he gives you examples of interpretations too. Yeah, it's a really nice deck, and I guess I have to learn French, because I mean, look at this. I really like it. So, and I like the system from what I understand of it. And this is by Gabriel Leroy. So, now, we just have 2 more, I think. So now, here's another deck that kind of it's got a lot. Look how beautiful. There's a lot with this deck. So this is Faerie Enchantments. And it's by... What is it by? It's a good... Ian Daniels. And he's done other decks and things. I can't think of what, but I know he has. So we have this zodiac chart. So it gives you your sun, your moon, your ascendant, and they're all tied to different cards, which is really neat. So they don't have like a front or a back exactly. Love the gilding. So these beautiful images. And then on the back of each card, it gives you the name, and it gives you 3 keywords. Now, he says in the book, if you're just doing like a pull, you're just going through and, doing like a single card pull, he says to use the bottom one, the one closest to the room. Also gives you color, a stone, a time of year, a plant, an animal, a bird. So there are a lot of associations that you can tie with them. Look at this. Oh. And it's just a beautiful deck. Now, you can absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, use it just as a standard kind of oracle. Take the bottom keyword, or take them all if you want. But if you use his system, there's a lot, right? There's a lot. There are different enchantments and charms and things that it gets into. There's different, so each card, he gives you information about the deity or what have you in the card. It gives you information about them and talks about how they can help you. Talks about, it gives you like an action to take if that's a card that you draw. There's another thing about, I think it was like spelling out your name with the cards. There's a lot, and I'm not, I'm not even gonna try to get into it all, but there was a lot of thought put into this, and it's a really interesting deck. And I mean, I just love. So, and and he talks about too, like putting the cards together. So, if you have certain cards, and like, I did that with my signs, for example, which is none of these. But then you would take, you would take it and string it like a sentence. So, enrapture ecstatic passion, ignite spiritual creativity, establish prosperous success. Right? So it kind of creates like a sentence. So, yeah. Oh, this is one of mine. But it's a really, really beautiful, really interesting deck, and I like it, and I use it in a variety of ways, which is what I want. I want a deck that is versatile. I mean, they don't all have to be, but isn't it nice when you find that deck that you can use in different ways? And I mean, it's beautiful, it's evocative, and I really like it. So that is Faerie Enchantments. Actually, I'll put this under. And then I think we just have one more. Now this one is a mass market. It's Into the Lonely Woods, and originally I wasn't gonna get it, but I actually saw this. Oh shoot! And I can't think of her name. I will find it and I will link her video, because it was a beautiful walkthrough of this deck, and made me realize that I had to have it. So, yeah, and I apologize, I can't think of it, but I will link it, and I definitely recommend watching it because it was a great walkthrough. This is a really special deck. I mean, it just, look at this. It's so beautiful, and it's so thoughtful, in the way that guidebook's written, in the way that the art is depicted. I love the titles, and you could absolutely, first of all, you could just read it just on the artwork. The titles definitely help, but the guidebook. So let's do this one. I like this one. So just to give you an example. So now this one is numbered, so it's easy to find. So we have, and is it lonelier at night, right? At night, we become strange as moonlight. Too many people have starved for solitude and silence and intimacy with the self. Without solitude, without self-knowledge, without the stranger self, we cannot love another or know them truly. Others are not our saviors, nor is their role to fill the space and silence of night or of a day. We must do this first by entering the void of night and bringing it to life. In this way, we will have something worthwhile to share along the way. The dawn will come, but let the night's peculiar light illuminate the wild world that resides within you. When you do this, what was once unseen will reveal itself and share the road with you a while. I mean, it's just beautifully written. And of course, that's Lucy Cavendish, and Dan May is the artist. And yeah, I think this is a really powerful, really beautiful deck. I mean, it goes into matters of grief and isolation, and it brings kind of hope and peace. And yeah, I can't believe how special this deck is. And I thought at first, it's just really sweet, cute, pretty images, and it's so much more. This is a really deep deck, and I think it's a very healing deck. So that's why I got it. I just feel that this deck fills that kind of niche area that other decks don't. Not like this. So maybe this should be an irreplaceable decks too. But I got this after the video. So yeah, it's a really wonderful deck. So that, I think, should do it. I have other decks coming, and but for now, and I think, I forget how many it was. I think we're somewhere around 140-ish Oracle decks. So, let me know what you think. What do you think about these decks? What do you think about, I know there are a few with kind of different systems. Do they intrigue you? Do they interest you? Do you want to know more about them? And if you ever see a deck that you want to see more about, if you want a full walkthrough, if you want a deep dive, just let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to help you out in that area. So until next time, be good to yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve the best, only the best, all the best. And that is my wish for you.